Okay, so this video is finishing up the peacock's head and neck. So, starting with the head, we're going to add some more of the light blue to the head. We did a quick overlay of color. So now we're just going to add a little more here. So I'm going to deal with the head first, and then going downward and dealing with the neck. So you're going to add that color. This is the light blue. And we'll go here into the other section of the head. So again, you're adding your light blue. You want to make sure that the edges, so these edges around the peacock are a bit darker. So as you can see, I'm now pressing on my pencil a bit harder. So see, I want all of this to be a bit darker, and then we're going to add our darker blue. I'm going to get over here too, in between. Just in between the eye. Now you're going to grab the darker blue. And you're going to do the same thing. You're adding that darker value with the darker blue. So if you notice, I'm kind of rolling my pencil in a round sort of fashion in order to get a nice even coating of the color. I'm outlining this white section, or outside of the white section on the peacock. Here's our dark part here. So I'm just going to flash this again just so you can see. So we've got our dark section. We're going to add little round circles to the head, and then we go down into the neck and do the fur strokes. Okay, so I'm adding a bit more shadow here. Gonna add more of that dark shadow here. You can kind of hear all my pencils bouncing around. under the neck is very dark. So you're just going to add more pressure over here. So I'm now adding more pressure with the dark blue. Going to add a bit of a shadow part here. So there's a crease. Okay. I'm going to make it darker up here. Also, while you have your blue in your hand, you also want to add another tone of dark blue to the ossicones here on the peacock. I'm laughing because a sweet 4.5-year-old told me that these are ossicones. Actually, I don't know if these are ossicones. Now that I'm thinking about it, that might have been another workshop. I may have that wrong. I'm also going in now with my black up here. We might as well get these taken care of. And I just want to make them darker on the bottom and a little bit on the left side of each one. And then I'm also going to take my black and just define each of the stems. Add a little more black here. That'll do it for that. And now that we have our black, we're going to define this section here where it separates the beak. So you're outlining over here, right here too. So you're adding a bit of a layer here with your black. Also want to go near that eye, add some shadow. A little bit of shadow on the top section of the eye. Over here, there's a little line here, right there. And then adding dark value to this section here. And also under the chin. So this is with black. going right on top of the blue that we added. And right over here. And at the edge over here, there's a dark section. Add some of the black here to this portion. See how I sort of roll around a little in the middle? That's so that I can get an even tone. I'm going to go back with my lighter blue, actually. And I'm pressing kind of hard at this point. Going over the yellow section here. And I'm grabbing that darker blue. And making that shadow a lot darker, pressing very hard. I'm going to do the same over here with the blue. So we did it in black and then we did it in blue. Just want to make sure that shadow gets nice and dark. Right at the edge here. And you're going to redefine it with your black. See how it's getting more of an even tone. And add a little black here. Okay, so now coming over here, adding more shading before we start the circles. Here, I'm just going to redefine this section here. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to start here, and we're going to do little circles. All the way up this portion. So if you look, I'm doing very light black circles to add texture. You're going to do that going all the way up the head. And then we'll just add our dark blue one more time, and we'll be done with this section of the peacock. And then we just have the neck to do, and your peacock will be finished. I hope you all send us some pictures of your finished artwork. It's going to look beautiful. As I said, it's my favorite part. Hopefully yours too. Okay. Now I'm just going to add some darker blue here, just going over the shading a bit. You don't want to cover up the circles too much there. And you can even take your blue and you want to go over some of the circles with the blue. Sort of a section here in the middle of the head where the circles are a bit darker. Okay, so that is the head section. Now we're going to move on to the fur. So here's what we're going to do with the fur. You're going to do light strokes. We're going to start down this section first. Now the middle here, in between this side and this side, is lighter fur. So I'm doing very light strokes. Filling in the white as I go down, right? And our fur is going in this direction. On this side it is. Now I'm doing another layer. I'm also coloring in the yellow with this light blue so that it turns sort of a light green. And now I'm coloring in a bit of what I just did, just a little bit. Also, there's some shading here on the side that you want to make sure to get to. We started with our dark blue, and now I'm blending that a bit more with the lighter blue. So my pressure is light. This is my light blue. So for now, I'm going to give an even coating of blue to either side. So if you notice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this middle section white or whiter. I'm going to do that all the way down. Really making sure I blend or get a little darker on the edges of the peacock. So I'm pressing my pencil darker. Getting here towards the bottom, I'm going in the direction of the fur. It goes this way and sort of swerves down. So I want to make sure I'm getting the bottom here. The penguin, the peacock. I was coloring a penguin earlier today. Okay, so now I'm also going to start over here with my strokes. So what I'm doing is small little strokes of the blue, the light blue. I am going to be adding some strokes to the middle so that it will blend and there won't be so much of a white line, because that just means his fur is a little lighter in that section. As I go down the neck, I'm pressing a little harder. Because it's a bit darker. The fur is darker at the bottom. Again, as you can see, those are little short strokes. I'm adding layers as I go. So now I'm working a little more towards the middle. I'm adding very light strokes and here and there I'm filling in that spot just a little bit. And as you can see, I'm going either which way. When I'm on the left side, my strokes are going this way. When I'm on this side, my strokes are going downward in the opposite direction. All right, I'm now getting my dark blue. First, I want to do a little bit more of shading over here to even out the dark blue I added. And now there's some patches of darker blue here. So I'm going to add sort of like, it's going to look a little bit like little circles. You see that? I'm going to do that all the way down. That's where the light is falling on the feathers. So this is obviously our darker parts is where the light is not falling on the feathers. And so now you're going in with your dark blue, short little strokes, building that up. I even venture a little towards the middle. It's a lot darker. The hairs are a lot darker up here. I'm even going to add a little bit of black to those round sections I did. And towards the edge here, I'm going to pull the hair just a little bit. All down the neck. I'm pressing harder over here along the edge, and I'm starting to move my strokes a bit longer. As you can see, I'm leaving some spots that are a little lighter. This is all layering the hair. So I'm going in with darker strokes again. Still with my blue. Coming in over here and adding those short strokes to this side. And see, I venture into the middle section here and there to pull it all together. The fur is darkest at the edges of the peacock. As you can see, you want it to look like hair, so your strokes will stick out a bit from the body going towards the edge here. See how that's getting built up? A little bit darker over here. So I'm gonna color in very lightly part of the edge here. Ever so lightly. He's still working on certain sections. If you find that it looks like there's too much space, you can go in and color over it. Okay, and then I'm just going to go over a light dusting one more time with the light blue. Adding a bit more. There. Now I'm just darkening up along the edges here. So now I'm just going over either side with the dark blue. And look at that. The other part you want to make sure to do with your blue, you want to outline these round circle parts of the feathers. Give them some definition. These sections here, you're going to give some definition to each of these by outlining and then making that little sort of heart shape darker with your dark blue. You need to make this a little more. And that, let me fix the camera here, is our peacock. I do realize I want to go over this a little more with the blue, just because there's still some darkness up here, dark sections. So I'm just going over it by coloring certain sections. And then as I get down here, I'm still making my strokes. And you can do a little bit there in the middle. And one more layering here of black underneath the neck here. And a little bit of black here. And there we go, my friends. So when you're finished, send that in. I'm so excited to see it. And I hope you enjoyed this. And I will see you for more art workshops soon. Have a great day.